right, cool. Hi, welcome to everyone who is watching this. Whenever you decide to watch it, my name is Emerae. I am the owner of the project database, and I am here with Esam for an interview, as you can see on our screen. I'm just gonna go ahead and check again. You are good with being recorded, and we are currently being recorded right now. You good with that?
Yeah.
Coolio. So we're gonna go ahead and we have three different kinds of questions. We have questions about Pikachu as a character, because who is our all-time favorite electric rat? We have
Pikachu busted.
fair enough. And then we have questions about improvement, and then we have a couple personal questions. So let's go ahead and get started with some of our Pikachu questions. And again, you are free to correct, because all of these were made based off the assumption that you only play Pikachu. So if you have anything else to add, feel free. So why do you only play Pikachu? And does that change when everything? And did that change when everything switched to online?
Well, Pikachu's really, really, really good, and it's just the character that I like, that makes the most sense to me. And so I've picked up a couple secondaries, like here and there. Like I tried Yoshi, I tried Samus, I tried Zero Suit Samus, I tried Palutena. But like the thing is, a lot of the times I'm picking up these characters is for like this one particular player, or like this one particular character and the top players of that character, and getting better than them with a secondary, like beating Meister with a secondary is really difficult because he's top 10 in the world. You know, like he's good for reasons other than the fact that Game & Watch is good. So trying to pick up a secondary and trying to make that as good as a top 10 player isn't easy, so I end up dropping them very frequently. But I've been enjoying Min Min, which I know is not a sentence that a lot of people say, but Min Min's been sick, and you know, I hope to actually continue to play her when offline comes back. So
yeah. That would be really interesting. I don't remember Min Min really being there for offline tournaments, so I would love to see Min Min.
She got released after.
Yeah, I would.
What happened is Byleth got released right before Frostbite, and then Min Min released like Min Min got released in like June. So obviously offline was super gone by then.
Yeah, there was one offline event that I worked at where she was a playable character, just because it was a drive up. So outdoors, like everything. I worked the safety side. So, but I'm really interested to see where Min Min goes. So, interesting fact. So why do you think other Pikachus haven't reached your level? I can't remember if there's another Pikachu on the PGR. If there is, please tell us.
There's not. I'm the only Pikachu on the PGR. Probably the reason is just I have way more hours in Pikachu than anyone else. I am one of the best aggressive players in the world, if not the best aggressive player in the world, because Mars isn't aggressive. So it's either me or Light, and I think when offline comes back, I'll be better than Light, but that's just me being arrogant. And it's just like, I've been playing him for so long. Like, Pikachu was my main since literally 2008, which is significantly longer than most people have been playing Smash Brothers competitively. So just like, I understand the ins and outs of this character. There's a couple, I mean, I'll think of new things every once in a while, but like, I'm so used to this character that I don't never I never feel out of place with him. I'm never like, oh, this is awkward or something like that, unless the matchup in particular is awkward. And I feel like people don't get him as much as I do. I mean, there have been other good Pikachus. DM is really good. Cosmos was playing Pikachu, and I think intends to when offline comes back. We have Shiny Mark, who's been doing really well online. There's a couple Japanese Pikachus that are really good, like Kishidu and Kisa. And there was a person that was like a top player that was picking them up that I don't remember who it was, but like there's getting more representation because people realize he's good, but I'm the GOAT.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like when people think of Pikachu, I asked, and they're like Esam, and these are people who don't even play the game competitively, or
basically it's me or it's Axe if you think of Melee, and like that's it. I love Axe.
I got a TO Melee tournament with him, and I help out with the Arizona Melee sometimes. So yeah, he's a cool guy. So in what areas are Pikachu strongest and weakest?
Strongest would definitely be edge guarding and combos and recovery, probably, because I can basically make it back from anywhere. And because of that, I can go off stage and harass people literally anywhere. And also he has like 0 to deaths or 0 to 50s or 0 to 70s that are like very consistent. If you can react, right? So like not only He has a ton of insane like kill confirms and kill combos at like mid percents. What he struggles with is probably just people with really big spammable hitboxes, which aren't really that frequent in this game because like it has to be like really like rising aerial spammable. Because if you do like short hop falling aerial on Pikachu, because he's so short, you can get a lot of parries or add a shield options on them. Whereas like if you're doing like rising aerials, like let's say a Ness neutral air or a Game & Watch neutral air, it becomes a lot harder for Pikachu to deal with it. So that, and then of course if people can like reflect or absorb his Thunder Jolt, because then he doesn't really have a great approach option, and then his hitboxes are all kind of stubby. So if you can do both of those things, like Ness or Mario or Game & Watch, that's when Pikachu's going to struggle a little bit.
All right. And then, as we all know, the coronavirus has hit everywhere, and everywhere is either locked down or the offline scene isn't really a thing anymore. So
Or at least it shouldn't be, haha.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. So how do I put this? So, as we all know, Nintendo has a really crappy netcode. So, how does online affect Pikachu compared to offline?
A lot. Pikachu's probably one of the most affected top tiers. Like, he's still very good, honestly, online, because his projectile and his camp game gets really good, and his like it becomes way more difficult to hit him, but that's not how I play Pikachu. So my style gets super bodied because a lot of the things that are reactable offline, which helps with his combos, are no longer reactable. So now you have to guess, and if you guess wrong, you're going to get, down throw up air, which is what, 16% as opposed to 30% or 40% or a kill combo. So it's pretty rough. That's gonna be the biggest thing, honestly, is just that. But he's still pretty good, but I think he gets super, I think at least my style gets nerfed very, very hard. And even though I'm still doing relatively well in online events, that's just because I'm godlike, not because Pikachu is still very, very good, obviously, so.
I'm sure it's a mixture of both. It's a thing. All right, I am wrong.
I still think he's top 15 online or so, but as a, being top 1 or top 2 to top 15 is a big drop.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to some of these improvement questions. So I don't know how often you do this, but how do you effectively analyze VODs or replays or just like things from anything from a tournament if you're helping another player out? How do you?
I mean, like helping myself or helping someone else?
Both.
It's probably the same thing. It's just obviously easier when you're not the one thinking of the options. Because it's really funny. I'll watch my VODs sometimes, and then I'll think, man, I should probably do this soon. And then I'll do it in game, and I'm like, nice. Because I'm just still in the same wavelength of myself when I played. But a lot of times it's going to be really just seeing what you got hit for. That's the biggest thing is, you win if you don't get hit, right? And of course, me being an aggressive player, I get hit a lot because I run in people's faces. And so I try to figure out what options I'm getting hit for, what spacings I'm getting hit for. If I have any habits when I'm on the defense, like neutral get up into roll towards the center is a big habit of mine that people like Leo punish, people like Mars punish a lot. And that's basically going to be it. You have to see where you get your hits and why you got your hits, where you messed up your combos, try to find some optimizations, and then figure out, hey, what situations am I doing dumb stuff in and getting hit for it? And that's going to be mostly it, because if you can hit your opponents better or not get hit, you're going to do a lot better.
All right. So I don't know how long you've been playing Smash in general, but
2005 was my competitive start.
Yeah, then you'll be able to answer this very well. Can you give examples of some of the best and worst aspects of Ultimate as both a fighting game and as a Smash game? I don't know if you're into traditional fighters at all.
Yeah,
but
I was.
Yeah.
I don't play them that much anymore because Marvel 3 was my jam, and that game's getting a resurgence now because pandemic. But I don't have my fight stick here in Canada with my fiance. So when I get back to Florida, I'm going to try to play some Marvel 3. But anyway, honestly, I love Ultimate. I think it is design-wise, a really, really good game. I'm not someone that is super critical of it. Or I mean, I'm critical of it, but I'm not like negative about it like a lot of other people that are for some reason. I think that every single design choice makes a lot of sense, except for the netcode. The netcode's obviously the worst thing about Smash Ultimate. Like objectively, it's just bad. I think the movement's good. I think the trade-off of like not being able to dash shield is fine. I love the shield and hold B thing, so you can tilt your shield and not do the roll options. I even like the short hop macro because I think it's important for accessibility options. Like obviously it should be a toggle, and I don't disagree there, but like people fucking hate it and don't realize that accessibility is kind of important and are just like, no, this is dumb, this is stupid, it makes it worse. It's just like, or you can just work around it, which isn't that difficult because top players are working around it all the time, consistently getting the correct inputs. So if you're complaining about it, that just means you need to practice more. Yeah, I think Ultimate's great. I think maybe shield poking should be a little less good. I think like there's obviously specific character things that I don't agree with, but for the most part, it's fine. I mean, again, the top tiers in this game are significantly less underwhelming than in any other Smash game. The bottom tiers are better than in every other Smash game except potentially Smash 64 because there's 12 characters and they're all decent. But like, you don't have a melee Bowser, you don't have a melee Pichu or Kirby, you don't have Ganon, you don't have Brawl Meta Knight, you don't have Fox or Falco or Puff. Like, the game is so balanced. And I'm honestly like a fan of basically all the mechanics in Ultimate, especially the workarounds, like, or not the workarounds, but the accidental exploits, like let's say attack canceling and instant reverse aerials because of auto short hop. So I think like little things like that are very cool. Yeah.
So
I
they
love Ultimate.
It definitely has a very wide range of tools that you can use. I played Melee for a little bit before my hands got worse, and I just remember spamming huge down smash.
Oh, that move's broken. That move is like high-key a top 10 Smash move ever. It's so dumb.
Yeah, and with my RNG, I need to start playing Game & Watch, man. I've pulled 3 beam swords in a row. In one game.
That's a lot.
I've made my boyfriend throw his controller before.
That's his fault, not yours.
I guess. Alright, so what would you consider a degenerate play style? And do you think top players can have a degenerate play style?
I don't really think there's degenerate play styles. Like, I think that is obviously very subjective, and subjective answers typically mean that no, there isn't one, because camping is fine. If you're a slow character that tries to get in people's spaces, of course you're going to think camping's degenerate. If you're a fast rush down character, you're going to think that people like throwing stuff in your face, like trying to preemptively hit you, is going to be degenerate, or like running away and not engaging is going to be degenerate. But there's no such thing as degenerate gameplay. Like, it's not like there's as good of projectile spamming as, let's say, like Injustice or NRS games, and there's no, Street Fighter 4 Sagat or something like that. Like, it's all very dealable with, especially with parrying and with just movement and platforms and stuff like that. So I think, no, there's no such thing as, like IMO, there's no such thing as a degenerate playstyle. There's strong playstyles. There's frustrating playstyles if you don't know how to deal with it, but there's always ways to deal with it, even if that way to deal with it is pick up a better character.
Fair enough.
That maybe Min might be degenerate, but
yeah, she's just maybe. The distance demon.
She's insane. She's crazy.
Boyfriend thought about picking up Min, and then he was like, "Nah, I gotta stick with the Fire Emblem." Yeah, he went with Byleth for some reason.
Ew, it's like the worst one. Sorry, the second worst one.
Wait, who's the first?
Marth sucks.
Okay, that's fair.
The rest of them, maybe like Robin and Byleth are probably around similar area. I think I put them closer to each other on my last tier list.
I was gonna say both of them.
There's like five. There's like 5 high tier ones and top tier ones, because there's like Roy, Chrom, Lucina, Ike, and.
If you put Corrin in top tier, we're gonna have a little bit of an issue.
No, Corrin's high tier. Corrin's high tier, and then there's like Byleth and Marth. There's and Robin. Whatever. Yeah. Choices are made.
Fair enough. So we've all had a difficult time over the past, over the past 8 months. Quarantine hit, coronavirus, we lost our offline events. we've had a lot happen. So what keeps you motivated to continue playing?
I love the game, straight up. Like, people complain about the online and complain about a lot of things because of the online, because online makes things feel like goop. But one, I've played worse netcode. Like, old Marvel did not have good netcode. Brawl did, like, that wasn't a thing, and I still played it. Like, it was so bad. So like, I just get used to it, and you know, like, obviously it's not perfect, and I get frustrated sometimes when it's like for money or for tournaments, but I just love the game, and I still enjoy it even with mediocre circumstances. So I just play it, and I have a good time.
That is definitely fair. All right, so this was a question about your practice regimen, and just hear me out here. It's a little bit longer question. About how long per day do you play to practice? What exactly do you do to practice? Like, do you have a practice regimen? Do you have a set rule set? Things like that. And does that change if you have a tournament later that day, later that week, the day after? You get the deal.
So I don't think my prep changes for offline, or rather online events, because if I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win. If I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna lose. Like, I'm not, like, because online is so weird, like, I don't really like super hardcore practice to have shitty reaction time, because like, it's really difficult. But I mean, my practice regimen, it is simultaneously both labbing to like figure out combos and then just playing people. Like, people for some reason forget that when you play people, whether it's online or not, like, there's sometimes that I fish for certain strategies, or I fish for certain combos that I'm practicing to see how applicable they are, or to see, oh, if there's a gap in it, what are people's defensive options? Like, there's a lot of times where the Pikachu has a combo called up air bridges, where he down throws or gets you in the air, and then basically can consecutively hit weak up airs into people and like drag them towards the blast zone and then forward air them. But against certain characters, it's a little harder, or against certain characters, or like certain times, I realize my positioning is off, so I can't continue the combo. So I think, what can I do if my position's off? And then I'll see if people panic and like air dodge in, or air dodge down, or neutral air dodge, or double jump, and I'll be like, what can I hit those things with? And then I'll start hitting people. Like, I played Cosmos in a Pikachu first to 10, like Pikachu Ditto, and I got down throw, up air. Oh, you're going to air dodge in because you're freaking out. So I drifted back towards the stage and then double jump thundered, and he died at like 50. And like, you can hit that type of stuff, and you can do well with those type of things, even if you're like, even if you're just playing people. Like, going for random shit is still practicing, because then you're realizing why these situations are working. At least if you're like good enough to realize why it's working, but like, you can think about it and be like, that's interesting. I can do this if they do this other option, and they go inside your noggin, and then you keep it there.
I gotta
especially
ask,
me as like a really aggressive like person like that. So
have you tested that during a grand finals or semifinals bracket or set?
I mean, I would say that like, I don't test things like that during tournament. I just kind of do them, and maybe they work, because like, of course, over the course of a set, if you're adapting to someone, you're learning their defensive options, you're learning their habits. So there are some times that I'm like, oh, this person does this habit, and I know this combo or this setup is good versus that habit, so I'll go for it. Like, it didn't end up working, but against Leo, when I played him at Genesis, I'm like, okay, cool, he's DIing all of my low percent combos in, which means I'm going to not do a particular combo that will kill him at 0, because I want to either use it for when I'm about to lose, like the set, or about to win the set. And then I got the hit, and I fucked up my combo. Like, I just misinputted. I got a back air low percent, and I meant to go for a reverse full hop up air, to then falling up air, and then thunder, and it would have killed him. And then I messed up and got a short hop, and then I didn't hit him, and I lost because of it, because I messed up my combo. But I was holding off for that combo that I had practiced, that I had labbed, knowing that he was DIing in, and I conditioned him to think that was okay by not going for it earlier. So yeah, I mean, that stuff happens all the time. If you're a top player, you know the combos, you know the setups, and you can react to people freaking out later in a set.
All right. Is there a change in gameplay that acts as a gateway into high-level play?
Just paying attention, probably. Like, people play the game and just are like, I want to do these things, haha. But then, like, I would say high-level play is when you're thinking, like, obviously, there's an autopilot at some point, because, like, you ask me, hey, Esam, why did you do this move here? I'm like, because it is good, and it was the correct option. Like, I kind of understand that like subconsciously at this point. Like I'm not thinking every single situation, like what is a good move to do here, because I've played the situation so many times that I'm like, this is the move that's good here, and I know that, and I don't even have to express why. But like just paying attention, just realizing why you're getting hit, trying to change your options and not just trying to brute force your way in. Because like obviously sometimes brute forcing your way in is good because you're like, they won't expect the same option multiple times, and that's a thing. But there's a lot of times when you're just like, when players like in my stream, or like players that are like just starting tournaments will be like, hey, what did you like hit me for? And I was like, you didn't change what you were doing at all. You were doing the same thing every single time. And I noticed that after the first one or the second one, and then you kept doing it, so I kept hitting you for it, and so it looked like I was destroying you when you just weren't. Like it was on you, like you weren't changing what you were doing. Like adaptation and changing what you're doing and having multiple layers of strategy if things aren't working is probably what I would consider like the beginning of high level play.
All right. So one of the questions that we got from our sponsored that we got from our sponsored server was what do you think the best way to get involved with your local scene would be?
Go to an event, obviously when things are safe, and ask the top players or TOs or people in the venue what you can do to help. Whether it's setting up, whether it's breaking down, whether it's taking people's registration money, whether it's just playing the game. If you want to just play the game, just ask. Or, I mean, if you want to do more than that, like talk to the TOs and ask like, hey, is it okay? Like, how do you, like, just ask people like, hey, how do you start running a local? Do you know any venues that are potentially good that people aren't using yet, or that you don't want to use for X reason that you think I should use? And just ask people. Like, people are very open about it and transparent, and I feel like a lot of people aren't super selfish, and they're not like, no, I cannot have another TO be in this area, then I will lose my rank. Like, I don't think that's really a thing. It might be because I'm not a TO, or at least I'm not anymore. But I don't think people are that like worried about it because, oh no, this region has 3 weeklies. Because I've lived in regions that had weeklies every day. Like SoCal has like multiple weeklies every day.
Arizona has weeklies
when offline is a
every single
thing.
day. It is.
So like there's enough of the pie to go around, you know. So you can just ask and try to get in it if you want, or just help people that are already doing it if they need help and they want to make the event better. You can be a streamer, you can be a stream runner, you can be a bracket person, you can be, there's so many things.
Yeah. I would like to go ahead and just promote myself for a moment for anybody who's watching this. If you want to become a TO, I always need help, please. For anyone watching this.
The lower third graphic.
It's okay. But I always run tournaments if anybody would like to assist, and I'm running a King of the Hill tournament very soon. So that's
interesting.
Yeah, your face just like.
Sounds like an interesting format for a tournament.
It is. It's like a round robin to start, and then it changes. I pride myself in being able to create like homebrew tournaments that surprisingly work well. How would you define the different levels of play? So that would be like low to high, or low to top. My bad.
Low level play, kind of just doing stuff and mess up frequently. Mid-level play, have a general strategy of what you should be doing and what you want to do because you've watched top players, but you don't really understand why they're doing it, so you're kind of just replicating it, and you're still misinputting and probably messing up your combos. High-level play, you kind of have your own idea of what you want to do with a character, even if you are basing it off of a top representative of your character. Your inputs are significantly more clean, and you kind of just get things you want. You'll mess up sometimes because even top players mess up. Like, that's not like top players never mess up, because no, we definitely do. We mess up frequently. Just like with smaller things that aren't like we SD'd. It's just like, oh man, I messed up my spacing a tiny little bit and that messed up my combo. Like, the levels of mistakes are very different. But high level play, you know what you're doing. You maybe don't have the fastest adaptation, but you're trying to, and you get it sometimes over the course of the set. And then top level play is you're constantly adapting. You have the ins and outs of your character mastered, at least what is known at the current moment. And you're constantly looking for ways to improve. You're constantly looking at what your opponent's doing. Your game plan is so solid to the point where you don't have to think about it.
Fair enough. All right. So, what are some ways to ensure, if you can even ensure, that a player improves at the game as quickly as possible?
An open mind. It is not anything that you can, like, as a teacher, right? Like, I mean, I don't really do lessons anymore, but the best lessons that I had were people that were open and that weren't arguing. Because if there are players or like top players or like teachers or people that understand the game and are telling you advice, arguing probably isn't the best way to go about it when you're talking to the person that is more knowledgeable and things like that. And of course, asking for context is different. But there have been a lot of people that are like, hey, Esam, what do you think about X, Y, and Z and Y? And I'm like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'll answer. And they'll be like, actually, I think this. And I'm like, and think that. Why'd you ask me the question? Like, I answered, I understand the game super high level. And for you to just be like, actually, you're wrong. This is correct. I'm just like, why are you here? Like, trust my opinion. Trust what I'm saying, that I know more than you. Like, it's fine to have your own opinion. It's fine to even be wrong. Like, you don't have to be right about everything, right? But like, to go out of your way to ask someone a question and then be like, no, this is stupid. But like, an open mind is so important, because if you are okay with being wrong, you're okay with being bad, you have to admit that you're not super great. And improvement just kind of goes from there, because you know what you have to work on. You listen to the people that are telling you better. You listen to yourself when you're noticing that you're getting hit for certain things. You watch your VODs and you go, I'm like less good than I thought I was. And then you get better and you learn. And open mind is super important.
We'll get ready to have an open mind for this question. If you were given the opportunity to completely balance the game, what would the patch notes look like? And balancing Pikachu, buffing Pikachu more is not going to be an option here. He already pancaked. We don't need any more.
Again, I think that the game is very, very balanced. I think balancing it more, like, honestly, it's almost problematically well balanced, because as a top player, I really don't like having to learn 70 matchups, and I kind of have to know 70 matchups. Granted, Pikachu's broken, so I just demolish a lot of characters anyway, and I kind of have the same thing. But like, if I wasn't like a Pikachu player specifically, it's like, oh man, you have to learn so many things. So honestly, I'm fine with the game the way it is. If you want to nerf some top tiers, make Tetrakarn smaller, make Pikachu's dash attack less strong or slightly less safe on shield. Maybe make his pancaking less extreme, but even then, like, it actually doesn't really affect that much. People exaggerate how much that happens, except for landing back air. That one's busted. Like, it's minus 12 on the back of people's shields, and even Pikachu can't add a shield option that, because Pikachu's so short. It's fucked. What other top tiers are there?
Palutena.
Palu's fine. I think she's a well-designed top tier. The shit characters, make them make them 5% faster, and they're like instantly better. Maybe 10% faster, and they're better, like Incineroar, Ganon, DK, or not DK, King K. Rool, Day-to-Day, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think the game is very, very well balanced. I think, actually, there's two things that I want just the game to have in general, which is like melee shield dropping. I think it would be super sick in this game. Maybe not quite, like, it wouldn't be as good, because one of the reasons that melee shield dropping is really good is because you can interrupt your initial dash with shield, hit forward shield, and then roll into your shield drop notch, which a lot of top players have at this point, whereas you can't interrupt your initial dash with shield, so you'd have to be a little bit more particular with it. But if they use that in conjunction with the shield hold B thing, where you can't do your shield options but you can still do a shield drop, that'd be fucking amazing. That'd be so good. That's the one thing I want.
Nintendo, please listen. Please.
I mean, it would significantly change the game. Yeah, I think that's fine.
All right. Now
I think the game's fine.
Well, Nintendo, please listen to our prayers. Please, we beg you. I know they won't, but it's still nice to hope.
There's another more particular thing, but that goes into like super nerd shit, so I'm gonna just not.
Well, I'm gonna be real. The people who are watching this are either lappers or people who want to know. So tell us. The
other thing I want would be a slight change to parries, because people will like parry to reflect projectiles, but people just don't fucking like zoners. So that's a stupid suggestion, because then every zoner is just shit instantly. So that's not actually a suggestion, or like a good suggestion. But what should happen is parries should be instantly dash cancelable. action cancelable. Every single parry, no matter what. Because there's a lot of times that like you'll parry a strong move and then like try to dash, but you try to dash too early, so then you just like walk out of it and don't get your punish. Like let's say on a full Samus charge shot, or like a strong smash attack, and like there's a lot of lag. But I think that there should be that amount of lag like in it, like designed in it, but you can be able to cancel it with a dash or an input at any time, so you can just be like, I parried this thing, do my punish, as opposed to having to wait after your parry to then do your punish, if that makes sense. So like have it like all parry animations should be dash cancelable, which would make it better versus projectiles. It would make it better against like, you know, just landing arrows, because like parry, do your move, and it would be really quick and really fast and really fluid. Plus, it would make it look more badass if it was just like parry move. Like imagine like just a fox doing like parry up tilt or parry down tilt like instantly. So I think that would be a nice change.
And
like,
that scares me to pick
super
up a controller.
It was not like super important, but I think it would help a little bit with parrying feel more satisfying.
Fair enough. All right, so we have reached some of our personal questions. Again, you're welcome to walk away or deny answering these at any point in time. Something that we've all been curious about: how did you and MVD meet, and eventually because if what I've heard is correct, you guys are really close.
Yeah.
So basically, what happened was Brawl came out. He started competing. I was already competing since the Melee days. And it was just someone at a tournament at first, right? He was just like a Snake player who was, he was like very new, so he wasn't super great yet. Because Florida had, like, especially South Florida, literally had 2 of like the top 5 Snake mains at the beginning of the game. So like he had big, like people knew high level Snake, and then he was okay. And he would do like 33rd, 17th at like singles type of thing. But I noticed him, and we were like, you know, friendly towards each other because there was no reason to not be. And then the reason we got close is what happened. There was this tournament called Winterfest, and I was going to be teaming with this out-of-state Kansas player named Affinity. And like a week and a half, 2 weeks before the tournament, he's like, "Hey, I actually can't go. Sorry, Esam." And I was like, "Okay, well, everyone else has doubles partners already. Who doesn't have a doubles partner?" And MVD was like, "On a team?" And I was like, "Sure." And then we got like 4th, 5th. Like we did really well. And he carried the fuck out of me, which was crazy because at that time, like I was like power ranked in the state, and he wasn't. Like he was still like up and coming, but like something about doubles just clicks with him, especially back then before he was like, he's really good at singles now, obviously. But like before he was good, he was insane at doubles. So then we were just like, this is fun. We should do this more. And then since then, there has been one event we've both been at that we haven't teamed. Like that doubles existed, a tournament, like one, which was my decision because when I went to college, I had a friend, Mekos, and he's like, we need to team at a major. And I was like, fine, we'll team at this one major. And MVD's like, wow, really? You're ditching me? And I was like, it's one major. And Mekos got like 3rd, so we still did very well. But that was literally it. The only time.
Yeah, I remember my boyfriend carrying me in doubles every time we would compete. And after that, we both decided doubles was probably not our best thing to do.
Doubles is fun. It's just hard.
It's become a joke now, and it's kind of sad. But you know, I'd like to see it come back.
I think high level doubles is still really good. It's just like obviously it's not the main event because singles is the main event.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to watch some of your sets with MVD as your doubles partner. I haven't watched too many double sets in general. So
nice.
You know what? I need some more clips for the Snake and Pikachu parts of the database. I'll just put that up.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, what are your favorite non-fighting games? Because obviously Smash isn't a traditional fighter. But it is a fighting game. So, do you play anything else outside of Smash?
Well, Smash is my job, so it's mostly what I play because I'm not a variety streamer. In particular, I'm a Smash streamer. But my favorite game, Celeste, of that game. It's so good. Love platformers. The music is fantastic. The story is actually pretty good. Still need to play like Hades. I'm not a big like shooter person, so like, you know, my fiance got me to play The Last of Us, and I enjoyed the story, but I didn't really care for the shooting part of it or like the action part of it. One of my other favorite games is Tales of Symphonia. I haven't played any of the Tales games before people ask. But it was just fun. I like the story. I like the combat. I like RPGs in general. If like they're not ironically Pokemon. I don't like Pokemon that much because there's no party, there's no plot around your Pokemon. They're just kind of there. So anyway, but I would say like I'm definitely a platformer fan and an RPG fan, and I've also been playing chess a lot recently. It's not a video game, but it's a game. Chess is fun. I'm glad it's having a resurgence because of Twitch, because of PogChamps. So that's been lit, and I've been playing that like a shit ton. Like I've been grinding and like watching a ton of videos because chess is hard. Chess is so hard.
You and I should play
I'm like in and out of 1100 on chess.com, and I'm like, it's so difficult. It's so hard.
You and I should play sometime. I play chess a little bit more often than I would like to admit.
What's your rating?
I actually don't play online. I only play in person because I've made chess sets before because I did woodworking. And I have blacksmith and welding training. So I made my own chess sets and I would start playing, and I ended up getting on my high school's chess team and just like started kicking everyone's butts there. So chess is a little bit fun. If you ever need someone to spar with. What are some up and coming?
I think people way better than you in chess just isn't helpful. They just shit on you.
I know. Hey, okay. Here's the thing. I can't play Smash. My hands hurt too much when I do. But chess, you get in someone's head with that one.
But the fastest thing is just like the hardest thing about that tactically is just like, or not tactically, but like tactilely, the hand movement is just like you're playing like Blitz.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Even then, it's still relatively.
I don't know, because I play in person, it's just not as hard. But because I have ADHD, I move way too quickly for my own good. And so like I'll be sitting there playing chess, and I'll just keep moving, and then my opponent will take like 2 to 3 minutes, and I'll just sit there looking through Twitter, and this is like the entire time.
I definitely do that when I play online too.
Yeah.
I'll do a move, and I'm like, I kind of generally see what's going to happen, and then I'll just like go on Twitter or like do a puzzle or something as I'm waiting for them to do their move.
Actually, that brings up another question. Does that affect your ability to play Smash at all? Just playing chess?
I would say no. I mean, I played Smash competitively before I really played chess, because I first played in 8th grade, and by that time I was already competitive in Smash. So no, I mean, it helps, but again, I'm not good enough at chess to be like, I'm a tactical genius. No, I understand Smash because I've played Smash for 15 years competitively. And I'm a genius for that reason, not because I'm mediocre at chess.
That is just a random question that just popped up. So what are some up and coming players that you're looking out for? Like whether you've seen them online? No, you get the point.
It's a good question. I mean, there's a lot. Like the thing is, there's so many good players that it's hard for me to remember who is considered an up and comer, who's considered good, who's considered not good, because especially with online changing results and stuff like that, you have a lot of online people be doing a lot better. You have Bestness, who's Lord PGR, being a top 5 player online. You have Cola, who was on the rise before everything shut down, now was destroying online when he was playing. You have Kiriosh, you have a couple Pikachu players like Shiny Mark's been killing it. I hope he does well. Of course, Japan's going to destroy us all, because Japan, at least until recently, I think they re-shut down a lot of stuff because of COVID, but they were having offline events again. So if they continue to do better than the States do, which I have no doubt that they will, because
it's Japan. It's Japan. That's all you need.
No,
to say.
it's the States. It's how bad the States is. But Japan will be farther in the meta because they had a couple extra months of offline, because you have to remember Ultimate was only a year and 2-3 months old before the pandemic, so having 3 more months of offline play is literally an extra 20% of the game's lifespan offline. That's crazy. So Japan's just gonna kick ass. I mean, there's a lot of good players, and I mean, of course, offline will kind of have a lot of people see a rude awakening where people can react to a lot of the stuff they want to do. But I still think, I think there's going to be a big adjustment period when offline comes back, and then results are going to have to go from what was offline, this is what it was online, and then kind of just level out. So I'm really interested to see that, even regardless of some like up and coming players. But if I had to pick one person who I'm excited for, it's Shiny Mark, who's been killing it online recently, and his just style of play is really good.
And can I ask who he means?
Pichu.
All right. So
Beat my ass in a first to 10 recently.
Whew, must be nice. I beat my boyfriend in our first to 10, and it's taken me a year and a half to finally be able to beat him.
Winning first to 10s is hard. That's a lot of games.
It is, but it got to the point where like he was JV4ing me less than 6 months ago.
Shit, that's impressive.
Yeah. I don't know how. I don't know how people can consistently.
Improvement. Woo.
I don't know how people can consistently play first to 10s. I give you props for being able to do that.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't take them that seriously. I just kind of play. I just enjoy the game.
I mean, that's fair, but I mean, in general, that's a lot of games to play. Especially if it's
4.5 hours, 4 days a week.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Also, like, I have no life. I've used to no life this, like, back in the Brawl days, like, when I had nothing to do, I would literally sit down and lab stuff for, like, 6 hours at a time. Like, I'd be like, I'm home from school, I did my homework, I'm labbing. Go to sleep.
Ooh. Well, congratulations, you're a gamer.
Hey, I also had a girlfriend, and she was okay with it. God. Anywho.
Sorry, that's just, like... It's convenient when both you and your significant other are both like major gamers. Cause
well, she wasn't. She just was like, "Yeah, you'll hang out with me tomorrow," and I'm like, "Yeah, so I'm gonna no life this today. Okay, bye."
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm a little bit too. So when I'm working on the database, he's either working or playing game or just. He has way too many hours on Smash, and I don't know how he does it, but he does.
Fun.
I don't know. I give you props for being able to keep a girlfriend and still being able to know life it. Even I couldn't. Even I wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, at this point, it's my job, so
that's fair.
It's not just me no lifing it. It's me having to do it.
Hey, you're getting paid, so.
Money.
Whew. All right, so this can be at a tournament. This can be online, though I think better memories are at tournaments. What would your favorite Smash moment be? I know there's a lot.
Winning Glitch 7. More recent, like last year. It was sick. I mean, I beat a lot of top players. I played really well. I overcame Fox in Grand Finals, which I never fucking do. Do you know how many majors I have lost to Fox in Grand Finals? I lost to Light like 2 times. I've lost to Larry Lur. Like, I'll be in winner's bracket and I would just get like 6-1 by Larry Lur or 6-2 by Larry Lur or barely lose game 5 and then barely lose game 5 to Larry Lur. And then Light beat me at a different Grand Finals because I was up an entire stock game 5 of Nimbus and then I SD'd, which I never do. Like, I SD'd in a really bad way, which I never do. And then I lost last hit, which I would have gone to Summit 1 because it was a Summit qualifier. So I finally beat a Fox in Grand Finals after beating Tweak and other top players, and I played really well, and I won, and I popped off, and I cried, and it was good. Peach busted, and I'm gonna win more majors when everything comes back, because I'm going to just fuck everyone up. I'm going to shit on everyone. Me.
I'm excited to see. I really am.
You're like 4th, which is fine.
Yeah, you're the only Smash player that I actually like. You, MVD, and why can't I remember tags right now? Oh, and MKLeo. You guys are the only Smash players I actually keep up with and like look at. So
that was pretty fucking good.
Actually, can you describe Pikachu and Fox's matchup? Because I can't help but notice, but that's been a kind of a reoccurring theme with how
I mean, Pikachu wins for sure. Pikachu wins for sure. It's just like just high octane matches get stressful, and other players are. I mean, Larry Lur was top 10 in Smash 4. He was definitely better than me. Light is a top 10 player in Ultimate, so he's better than me. So I have to overcome them as players in order to beat them, and I've done it. I mean, I think mine and Light's set count is like even, or it's like +1 in his favor, or something like that. Because he's a really, really strong and good player. But I think Pikachu definitely wins because the edge guarding. But it's just really fast because I like to play fast. Fox is a really fast character, so we just kind of a lot, and it's fun. It's really fun to play. It's really fun to play, even if it's stressful, but it's also really fun to watch.
That's definitely fair. So I believe you might have mentioned this before. I'm just gonna ask you to go over it again. How did you originally get into Smash? Like, was it like, did you go to a game store and your mom was like, pick out a game, or?
I mean, I played it casually, like when 64 came out. Like my best friend at the time got it, and we played when I was over. And then Melee came out, and I got Melee with my GameCube, and I would play one player mode, or I'd play with my brother, whose tag is Nick Riddle. And he went to a tournament before I did because he's older than me. So I was 12 at the time. He was 16. He went with his friend to a tournament and was like, hey, Eric, you should come to this tournament. And I was like, yeah, okay, I have nothing to do. I'm 12 and I was 12. I was XD random when I was a kid. And then I went and it was fun and I was pretty decent. I think I got like 7th at my first tournament, or like 9th, and then I got like 5th at like, I remember one of my first 3 tournaments. I don't remember which one it was. I got like 4th, and I cried because I did not understand the pressure of 20-something year olds or like 18-year-olds yelling at you or like shit talking you when you were beating their friend. And I was just like, oh, like I literally paused in the middle of a set that I was getting beat because he counterpicked me and they were just yelling for him and at me. I was just like pausing. I was like, can you all just cheer for him and not insult me, please? And then I cried and then I lost. But hey, I'm good with crowd heckling. So.
Wait. You had adults picking on a 12-year-old?
I was beating their friend and they were shit talking. You gotta do what you gotta do. It was back in the day when people didn't care. People did not give a fuck. And then I became like their friend. It was fun. Like it's fine. At least it was fine. Like I think the dynamic would be different nowadays. But...
Yeah, it definitely is. In Arizona, we have a Bowser player named Bulbasaur. He's 15. During the scene when he played back in Smash 4, his entire family plays Smash. They all play competitively.
Yeah.
Like, and his little 5-year-old brother goes around carrying his controller at locals, and it's too big for his own hands. Cutest thing ever. But no, like everybody will sit there and just cheer for him because Bulbasaur's the best Bowser in the state. I wonder if he's gonna start going to majors soon. That'd be cool. I don't know. I love him to death. He's such a good kid.
I mean, yeah, it was like a 20-something man local, and everyone in the scene knew each other. And there was this newcomer kid who was kicking their friend's ass, and they're like, "Nah, fuck this shit." Makes sense. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm just like, man, a 12-year-old, really?
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah. All right. So, has there ever been a moment
they weren't telling me, they weren't like insulting me. They were just like telling me, it's like, you ain't shit, you're not gonna win. He's like this person so much better. Let's fucking go that person. Fuck you, Esam. I'm like, okay. Fine. Fine.
You'll learn to deal with it.
It was a different day and age.
Yeah.
That was 16 years ago. So.
Yeah, and now we all, I don't know, nothing really major has happened. Now we either all pop off or someone gets a crab thrown at someone.
Facts.
It's about the worst it gets. So has there ever been a moment where you've wanted to quit Smash, especially during this quarantine?
Definitely not during the quarantine. That hasn't crossed my mind at all. Like quitting social media, sure, but Smash, no. There was one time I wanted to quit, or there was 2 times. One of them was after Genesis 2, and at that time I was like a top 5 in the US, top 6 in the US player in Brawl. And I got 9th, and I was very unhappy with that because I lost to someone I really shouldn't have because I like choked and I just like threw a game and I was in my own head. And I just like went outside and I just like sat on these bleachers, and someone ended up coming to comfort me. But for a while I was just like, is this worth it? If it's inconsistent, this is so hard, man. Because I've traditionally not done well traveling to West Coast. Which is
it's
weird.
Right.
Until Genesis. Yeah. But until Genesis, like every single I'd been to, I'd done poorly at. Like until Genesis 4, which was in what, 2015, 2016? Like I had done poorly at every other West Coast event. So it's kind of just like, man, if I like can only do well like on East Coast or in like not West Coast, and West Coast has so many important events, like what am I doing? And then I was like, shut up, get better. And I was like, okay, cool, get better. And then another time I just done poor, like I was focusing on Smash 4 instead of college, and then I did poorly on my first set of exams in college, and I was like, nope, gotta focus. And so I sold my GameCube controller, which at the time was worth $120, and I sold my GameCube adapter, which at the time was worth like $80. And I played on a gamepad casually sometimes, and I would go to tournaments just to make money, but I wasn't like focusing on the game because I was focusing on college. And so like I quit, but then like I finished college and I moved back to, and like I went back to Florida for spring break, and I was like, damn, this is really fun. And so I started just beating people. And then ironically, 2 months later, I was like, yeah, I'm back. And then I got signed by Panda. So literally it was like I quit, and then I was like really good for a little bit, and then I got signed by Panda, and then I got like top eight. Like I got 5th at CEO, 7th at Evo, 2nd at SmashCon. Like I had a run at the beginning of Smash 4. So
what's it like working for Global? Just out of curiosity, because that I would love to work for Global as like a TO or as something. That would be a dream come true, because then I could stay at my desk.
I mean, since I was at the Panda from the beginning, right? So I mean, it's different nowadays because they like branched out and they have like more infrastructure, but I mean, it was always very close and very tight knit, and you can talk to the owners. Like I can still do that. Like I can still message the owners of Panda Global and be just like, hey, let's talk about something. I have like a relationship with them. Like it wasn't like a big esports team where you have your player rep and that's it. It's like, no, like I mean, if I want something quickly, I go to my player rep at this point, but like I can still go to the CEOs, I can go to the COO, I can go to anyone I want in the organization and just be like, hey, let's talk, which is cool. Different. I would think that that's a privileged position to be in an esports org. That's not normal, but I like it. It's cool. They're chill.
Feel free to shit on Nintendo. We don't like Nintendo here for the fact that their netcode sucks and they're mean. So feel free. So where do you see the future of competitive Smash Bros going? And this is given Nintendo's actions in regards to the competitive scene and with everything that's happened over the last year with them.
So I'm slightly less cynical than a lot of other people about it. I think the reason they shut down Big House was not because of Slippy. It was because they were trying to profit off of Slippy. Like, there's a bunch of online tournaments that happen for Melee. Summit happens. There's all these little things that are happening, and they're not getting shut down. They're not getting cease and desisted. Like, Big House was a Nintendo partner. They said, no, please don't do that. Which, granted, that's still stupid, and it's still wrong. But I think Big House is an anomaly in terms of getting shut down. Like, them getting shut down, because, like, literally Summit was happening that weekend. That literal same weekend that Big House got shut down, Summit was running, and it was fine. Then LACS, like the Ludwig tournaments, have been fine. And Nintendo is obviously very not involved, and they have very archaic things with like copyright laws and all that shit. Like, I mean, I remember I was a Nintendo ambassador, and they had like randomly strict rules about shit. Like, I had this I use it now, but like I have this a thing to help me lab called an Arduino, which basically it allows inputs. Like, I can program it to like do specific inputs, and I can like practice combos and stuff. And they were like, hey, you're not allowed to use that on stream. And I was like, why? It's a controller thing. And they're like, you're not allowed to use it. And I'm like, okay, because I was an ambassador. But like, I think that Big House was an anomaly for this case. I think that it really sparked a lot of people's disinterest in Nintendo, which is fine. And I'm also mad at them, right? Like, I think it's fucked up that they did that. But I don't think Nintendo will really be affecting the scene as much as people think they will. I think offline tournaments are going to be fine. It's like, oh, there's no Nintendo sponsor. Like, unless they want to be assholes and be like, you're not allowed to stream this. But like, I really doubt they're going to do that, because I don't think they want that much PR blowback. They'll just be like, okay, you guys win.
Also, they profit off. They still profit off of other people's.
Not really. Not really.
I mean, I've actually outright bought in games because I've bought games just because I've watched another streamer play them. That's the only reason why I bought Animal Crossing.
But the thing is, like, the people that are watching Smash streams already probably, in terms of the tournaments, so like they're not profiting that much off of that. I am, like, at least I don't know them fucking.
I mean, DLC characters. But that's about it. Kind of a shame that
yeah, but like, we're gonna buy them anyway.
Yeah, kind of.
The people that have Smash are gonna buy the DLC characters anyway, because you're gonna see a character and be like, they're cool. Like, people didn't buy Sephiroth because they saw them on a stream. They're gonna be like, damn, Sephiroth's in fucking Smash, that's crazy, and then buy them.
Yeah.
Or like, if you're a tryhard, you're like, cool, and I want to either try this character or learn how to play against this character, so I need the character. So, I mean, I think the scene is going to be, like, I think the biggest thing is obviously going to be recovering from the pandemic. because venues got shut down, locals stopped happening. A lot of places that just don't exist anymore because they got shut down and they couldn't pay their rent because the US government did a terrible job at helping people. Which like isn't the venue's fault, but at the same time, don't post fucking locals when people are gonna die. Anyway, y'all can edit that.
No, I don't care if this gets edited out. Back in Arizona, we actually had actually the big one. Yeah, vaping capes. I work for SAK. I'm the one who worked Ascensions and all of those. The thing with vaping capes is the way that the local was run. They didn't have anything for COVID, and SAK has officially if
you do, it's still not worth it. Because if someone dies, you'll feel like shit forever.
Well, and a bunch of players there caught COVID. A bunch of players who went to the tournament ended up catching COVID. Coco, I don't know if you know him, but he ended up catching it.
The Olimar?
No, Coco the Mario.
It wasn't Olimar?
Mario.
Different. Oh yeah, mine's from Michigan.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Mine is so he's like this big dude. He's greatest guy. My first tournament, he came up to me and literally held his hand out and just randomly was like, "Hey, I'm Brandon," and then just ever since then. But no, he ended up catching it.
Don't be fucking stupid and go to locals. I mean, I'm literally like, I'm like enemies with half of Central Florida because I'm like, hey, fuckers, stop going to locals, and they're like, no, and I'm like, okay. Like, I didn't realize this was going to be the thing that people got mad at me for, was wanting people to not die.
Yeah,
that's OD. Anyway, but I think that's going to be a big adjustment, is just like venues having, like, people have to secure venues, people being comfortable enough to go to locals, because like the thing is, like, I feel like a lot of people after this are going to be like very reserved and very scared to go places reasonably, like, because it was a whole time, and it's traumatic and it's shitty. So like, I mean, once I get the like, I'm still gonna wear, even after I get the vaccine, right, I'm still going to wear masks when I go outside, like, for the most part. Like, it's just not like I'm going to go to restaurants less. It feels weird now. Maybe that'll go away in a couple like years, but for a while I'm going to be very safe, and that's going to change because people are going to want to play but also be safe, and also like the venues are less, there's going to be less locals, majors are going to have smaller caps, there's going to be more invitationals maybe, which like I'm going to get invited to those, so I'm fine. But like I think the open tournaments, there's not going to be 4,000 2,000 man tournaments anymore. I don't think that ecosystem going to exist, and I might be wrong, but I don't think it's going to exist anymore. So
I don't think so.
Higher venue fees, caps on registration, which is nice. At some level, obviously you want tournaments to be bigger. Melee tournament and then a 512 man ultimate tournament, some people, as opposed to needing like a 5,000 6,000 person venue, which means things are cheaper, and then you can have like the people that are going pay more door fee, and like there's ways to get around it. But I think the entire ecosystem is going to change. People are going to focus on streaming. Online events are still going to be a thing, at least like the weeklies.
Our Wi-Fi warriors are definitely going to be taking a lot more of a stand, because the thing is, the coronavirus is not going away. Even with the vaccine, it's still not going to go away, and it's obviously been mutating because, you know, there's a new strain. So it may be that
the vaccine still works. It works against it. So
it does, but not all of them are. My father's a tester for one of the vaccines, and it's showing no help with the new strain. So that's why it's like.
Oh, which one?
I have no idea.
I've seen a couple papers that, I mean, there must be like another one. The thing is, obviously, COVID mutates slower than, let's say, the fucking flu. So it's going to not be nearly as bad as something like that. Like where we need a vaccine every single year. Because otherwise the world is just shut down forever. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Based on the virology of it.
Yeah, I know I'm already in a wheelchair because of COVID. So we're going to go ahead and just, you know, we're going to get that. I want to go back to locals and TO. Dude. It's going to be fantastic when it comes back, but it's definitely going to need to be a lot safer, and yes, it's definitely going to be very different. So what is your opinion on Nintendo's lack of involvement with the Smash community and blatant attempts to prevent its growth?
It makes sense that Nintendo's not getting heavily involved with the Smash scene from a monetary perspective. Like, if you're thinking about them as a business, it makes sense. What the fuck? Why are they going to put in $10,000, $100,000 into this tournament when there's literally going to be not enough payback? the people that are going to watch the tournament are going to watch the tournament, and the people that play Smash are going to play Smash, regardless of the money that's in it. Especially because the money's only going to top 16 players. Like, they're going to the top 16 players. As far as I'm aware, Nintendo has helped with like venues and stuff like that, and like some Nintendo sponsored tournaments, but I don't know that officially. I don't know if that's true, but like it makes sense they're not putting stuff into prize pots. Obviously, they want control. It's their IP, and they're very anal about that for some reason. But I would love for them to stop shitting on things. Again, Big House made sense, but are not. You know, they're not trying to shut down Slippy, which is nice. I would love for them to have better netcode. I would love for there to be a Nintendo circuit, right? Like, it's been my dream, right? It's been my job. I mean, this has been literally my full time since 2015. So, I mean, if there was a fucking circuit and there was all this crap, that'd be really good. But like, their lack of involvement in a lot of areas has been annoying at the very least, and harmful in others. Especially with what happened this summer, right? Like, they could have done something. They could have promoted things. It didn't. So that's disappointing, and they're running from it instead of being a force to help. And you can help, and they're not, which is shitty. But like, in terms of, again, like a circuit or prize pools, and they should give us money. It's like, why? Like, it's not like it's Sakurai's, whatchamacallit. Like, it would make more sense if, like, in particular, whatever studio Sakurai is working for that makes Smash gets involved with it. Because it's just like, we were like, oh, well, Street Fighter has Capcom. And it's just like, okay, well, Capcom has a Street Fighter division, which is supporting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, Riot has League, but Riot basically only makes League and, like, League adjacents. And then Valve, the only game they really support is fucking Dota. So like, there's very particular things, and Nintendo's not that type of company, because Smash isn't responsible for Mario sales or Link sales, and hell, half these I mean, besides like specifically like, oh, the DLC character is an advertisement, like Byleth or something like that, which again, Byleth and Corrin, and that's literally the only ones I can think of. So, except like Sephiroth, but everyone knows who fucking Sephiroth is.
I didn't. I didn't know who he was until my boy. I literally got a call from my boyfriend being like, dude, the new DLC came out. I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, dude, it's Sephiroth. And he literally like was popping off all over, and I'm just like, I don't know who that is. Thanks, so.
The generational differences are fucking insane. But I mean, so my point still stands, is you know how a lot of the DLC characters are, so I don't think they're really like that much of an advertisement. Or it's just like, oh, this game that you're still not gonna buy, or that's free on fucking Nintendo Online, like ARMS. Like, still no ARMS 2 when they have a DLC character that's literally could be promoting it. But like, it's just like, I don't know. I wish Nintendo was more involved, or like said, like, we're gonna leave you the fuck alone, so we can know, right? As opposed to like, we have to tiptoe in these random areas that we're not exactly sure even matter. Like, do you know how long people didn't stream PM as PM on Twitch because they were like, oh, well, like, got shut down, we don't want to get our channel taken down, and like, they don't know if that's a thing, they don't know if that was going to be a thing. People are doing it now in light of the free melee and safe Smash thing. But like, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Just out of curiosity, who do you think is going to be the next DLC?
I have no idea. I've guessed incorrectly for like 5 fucking DLC, so I have no idea, and that's fine.
Do you have anyone you want?
Gino got deconfirmed basically, so no, not really. I got Ridley in the game, and Ridley was the character I wanted, and he got fucking base game, so.
No.
Which sucks, because it would have been better as a DLC.
I mean, I don't know. I don't understand all the dynamics of it, but Ridley got in the game. I would love to see another villain besides Sephiroth.
And they finally added one. There's like 6 villains. I mean, the thing is, there aren't that many like iconic villains in Nintendo, I feel like. Something
that I've heard that a little bird told me about was possibly somebody from Mortal Kombat.
Scorpion, dun 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 dun. But I mean, yeah, it's like that Heihachi from Tekken. Like, there's like rumors, but there's no reason to believe anything, because every single rumor that's existed basically has gotten like shit on at some point. So
Yeah, it's just the Mortal Kombat one would seem pretty interesting because we already have Street Fighter. I used to play traditional fighters. I played Street Fighter 3 Third Strike on the original arcade box. Like, that was my shit. So.
Strike's sick. I need to rewatch Co-op Cup that just happened.
You should. It's fantastic. All right. So you mentioned that you went to college. Where would you be today without Smash? Or if you weren't able to continue with Smash, what would you have fallen back on? Because obviously you do this for a full-time job.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say at this point because like I've been playing Smash since I was a teenager, like, quite literally since I was a teenager because I started when I was 12. Like, so I've been ever since I was 13 at the very least. I've been playing, right? And like it's been a huge part of my life. Basically, my entire friend group is Smash. My fiance is a Smash player. Like my family has another Smash player. It is my life. So saying like what would you do without it or what would you have done without it is really hard for me to know because my friend group would be differently. I would be different as a person. Like I have a degree in genetics, which is cool, and minor in microbiology. But like, you think I've fucking used anything with that? Hell no. Like I haven't done anything. I'd have to relearn like all of that before I even attempt to do anything, unless I'm just gonna like go get a job as like a lab tech somewhere and I just learn how to fucking look at microscopes and shit. But like, I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. It's a really hard answer, which is, you know, scary because I'm getting married and I would love to have a backup or I'd love to have like a 5-year, 10-year plan, but like I don't. And it's hard to because like, hey, do you want to assume that everything's going to go to shit, or do you want to assume that everything's going to go well and then maybe it doesn't go super well and then everything's ruined? It's like, it's hard to tell, you know?
Yeah, I can tell. It is definitely scary, but you know, this is why we ask the questions. Woohoo!
Yeah.
But do you think if you aren't able to continue with Smash, like let's say something happens, do you think you would go and see about becoming like a lab tech or something, or would you use your degree that you got? Or would you go back to school?
I have no idea. Because like maybe I would just be a streamer, like a variety streamer. Like that's the thing is like just because a game like quote unquote dies doesn't mean that people won't watch it. So like I might be able to still stream and do YouTube stuff, and I would just change my YouTube format. Because like, you know, people love casual Smash. I'm focused on competitive, but if I don't have to focus on competitive, maybe I do casual stuff and then I get more views and everything's fine. I don't know. I don't know how it works. It's an unknown, so I haven't really put too much thought into it because if I do, then I'm just gonna get really paranoid and anxious and feel like shit. So there's no point.
Fair enough. So who do you want to see in Smash? Just like in general, like do you want to see any? Is there anybody in particular that you want to like be like, you're coming in?
Nope. I'll say I'm fine. Like, obviously there's more characters. I'm hyped for every character. Like, I didn't care. Like, I didn't want Sephiroth in the game, but Sephiroth got him in, and I was like, that's fucking sick. And Steve got in, and I was like, that's fucking sick. And Min Min got in, and I was like, that's awesome, even though I don't really like ARMS. And then I played, like, the one I'm the least enthusiastic about all the DLC except for Violet. Like, literally, my two least giving a fuck characters are Violet and Min Min. And I play Min Min. Doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if I like a character, because liking a character doesn't necessarily mean you like how they play. And it's a lot of like just being open to it. Like I'm not opposed to any character. There will never be a character I'm upset that gets into Smash. You know, because it's
Pikachu falls off a ledge.
That matchup's fine, so it's fine. But like I love Steve because I think that Minecraft is an awesome game, and seeing the worlds meet is awesome. I love. Like, I mean, I'm not a Final Fantasy guy, but like, I like it enough that I understand that Sephiroth's important, and culturally, as a gamer, he's important. So if they get like Master Chief or like Goku, or like, I would never be like upset about a character getting in Smash. Like, even if they're not someone that I necessarily care about, because realistically, I'm a shitty gamer. I play fucking Smash Bros. I play Smash Bros. 99% of my gaming time, if not more than like 90% of my gaming time. But, like, there aren't a lot of characters. Like, I don't give a fuck about the PS5. I don't give a fuck about Death Stranding or any other of these big crazy games that people are talking about. Like, I didn't play Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't play Last of Us 2. I haven't played like the Game of the Year from last year. I haven't played Hades. I haven't played any of that. So like, I don't give a fuck about those characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're in the game, cool, awesome, great, awesome, yay, cool, great, good stuff. But like, I don't personally have any investment in them. So like, yeah, I'm a Nintendo fanboy, so I would love something like Lloyd Irving or maybe Isaac from Golden Sun. But if they get in the game, that would be crazy, and a lot of people wouldn't care. I don't have like that much stake in it because I got Pikachu. I'm chilling.
Fair enough. Just out of curiosity, have you played Persona 5 yet?
Nope, haven't played any Persona game.
You should play. It's a good
I
game.
do not care. That is like 80 fucking hours of game. I don't have that much time, and I do not care that much.
That is 100% fair. I have like 300 hours on. I had 300 hours on the game before I sold my PS4. So like, I get it. It takes up your life. I lost sleep over it. I lost sleep over Royal. It's depressing. So in the end, like you do this as a full-time job now. So what other goals do you have that you want to reach in this game?
I want to beat people that I don't. I want to just be more consistent. Because like if I'm consistently getting 4th at events, that's fine. Because then I'm like top 8 in the world. Like I would love to be the best, but other players are really good, and like sometimes it's not even about me. Because like obviously I can always be better, but like sometimes Leo's just gonna beat you. Sometimes Tweak's gonna beat you. Sometimes Mars is gonna beat you. You know, if I can go toe to toe with them or do better against them on average, or have like an even win percentage, not even just like a winning, just like I beat them more often than I have been, like that's fine by me. Like I want to push my character as far as I can. I want to do consistent really well in tournament, because again, the last several tournaments I went to, I've been like killing it. Like since November, I think my worst placement has been like 9th, because I got like 1st in a bunch of Canadian tournaments, like Canadian majors, because they had money, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to this, because I also can visit my fiance who's also in Canada, so I would just like fly from Toronto basically. But then like, you know, glitch at the end, the glitch 8 I got 3rd, Genesis 7 I got 4th. Like Frostbite, if I went, because I didn't go, but like if I went, I probably would have got like 5th or 7th or something like that. And I just want to keep top 8ing and doing well and adapting as much as I can. And you know, the thing is, like, of course it's all connected, right? Because if you do well in tournament, that means your stream's going to pop off because people are excited for you, which means people are going to see me as me and not just my character, which means they like my personality, which means I gain fans, which means I gain money. And that means that I have bigger streams, so that means I can ask for more money in terms of sponsorship videos or in terms of my sponsor. Like, it's all connected, right? Like, the better you do, the more valuable you are. So the more valuable you are, the more value you get. Like, I just want to win because I love the game, and then all the rest of it comes kind of secondary.
I was gonna say, you seem to really enjoy what you're doing. So, there's something else I was gonna ask. Whatever, I'll remember eventually. How has Smash changed your perspective on life?
It's been my life. There's no way to tell. Like, I don't, like, you're not really a person until you're like a teenager, right? Because like you're just kind of like mimicking what your parents kind of say, like a while. And like this isn't like, I'm not a fucking psychology major, but like you know what I'm saying. Like generally, like obviously you learn yourself in your teen years and your like early adult years, and like that's all been Smash. Like I had other things, obviously. Like I had a non-Smash friend group in high school, and I had a non-Smash friend group in college. They were a Yu-Gi-Oh friend group. So, but like it's been my whole life. So I don't know. There's never been a transition period for me, because literally like all of my memories are like I'm a child, I'm a Smash. So it's hard for me to say what's changed because it's me, you know? I grew up in this scene, and there's no way to know what it would be without it.
I 100% get that. So, this I'm going to ask that you do not say main Pikachu, please.
Busted.
What advice? What advice do you have for those who want to go pro?
Pay attention. Learn your character. Put in the time. Actually fucking practice. So many people are like, how do I get good? And I was like, oh, you practice this thing. They're like, I practiced it for an hour, and I'm like, then practice it for 2 hours. Or practice it for 3 hours. Practice it for 4 hours. Do it until you get it. You have to be stubborn. You have to be patient. You have to be willing to put in the time, because if you're not willing to put in the time to get good at something, how are you going to get good at something? Like the people that are better than you put in so much more time than you, or understand things because they have already put in so much more time than you. Like I can probably figure out a combo of a character I don't play quicker than most people would, because I understand the game and I've already put in the hours and the tech learning and everything. Like I can do Ice Climbers combos that a lot of people couldn't even fathom of doing, because I used to play Ice Climbers in Brawl and I've practiced them some in this game. It's just practice. It's just putting in the hours, and it's just trying to understand what is happening in the game. And you got to either up your understanding or put in those hours.
That's definitely
also
fair.
Picking a better character helps.
I'm waiting to see a bunch of brain dead Paulus on the PGR. That's I'm just waiting.
No Palu's brain dead, because the thing is, at top level, no one's brain dead because no one gets away with those options because everyone's good enough to the point where we shit on the brain dead Palus. There's literally only like 4 Palus on the PGR. It'll be like Abadongo, Jagaimo, Jin. That's probably it.
I was gonna say the only person who I know of is, again, but Stroder has a pocket. Stroder has in everything.
Stroders are gonna Ninja main.
I know.
Ninja Mario fucking.
Yeah, but the thing is, he plays
fucking
everything.
He plays a billion characters. But like he's not a Palu player. He's a fucking, like, if you were to get on PGR, he'd be like a Ringen because he like beats like Samsora and people with Roy. But like, no, Palu's fine. Like, there's no such thing as a brain dead Palu at top level, because if if top players are losing to quote unquote like brain dead options or stupid options or spammy options, that means you're not actually a top player, and none of us lose to that.
It's still good to add.
Facts.
What do you think has been preventing you from reaching top 10 in the world? And do you think you'll reach top 10 in the world? Because as we've all seen, I'm not going to go into specifics, but we've had a lot of top players retire over the past 8 months.
Only one.
For other reasons, you know.
No, just one. Literally just one that is above us. Or that is above me is no longer playing. Or like casters. Just Naira.
Yeah, wasn't Zero fairly high?
He wasn't playing. He wasn't fucking good anymore. He didn't fucking enter tournaments. He didn't enter tournaments anymore.
Well then, I mean, you automatically moved up one spot.
No, because he's the one that I beat the most. Naira's the one that I beat the most, so I'm gonna lose my top fucking wins. But I mean, it's hard to be top 10. Like, it's not necessarily a me thing. It's just people are really, 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 really good at this game. Like, everyone above me is an amazing and fantastic player, and I have nothing bad to say about them. So, like, do I think I can be top 10? Yes, I think that Pikachu's meta and combo game has evolved since offline, stopped existing. I think there are a lot of new things that Pikachu does that I did not do before quarantine started, that I will be doing when quarantine is over, and it matters in a lot of relevant matchups for me. And so I think I could be top 10. If I'm not, it's because other players are really good. Japan is really good. If it's Leo, it's Tweak, it's like everyone above me is so talented. And can I be as talented as them? Can I be as good as them? I think so. But if I'm not, it's because they're so good. It's nothing that I can do. I mean, I can obviously practice harder and be better and like learn how to play differently, but like put in the hours. And if they are better and put in more hours, or they're just so good and they understand the game differently or better than I do, then they got it, But there's nothing bad to say. It's just like, I want to be there, and I think I can be, but am I gonna be? I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Wow. Whew, I just realized that we started this an hour and a half ago. Wow, it's been a lot longer than I thought it was going to.
Talk a lot.
That's not a bad thing though.
Something outro. Because I saw that was the last question.
Yeah. Oh wait, I just realized there is actually one more question at the top that I completely forgot to ask because I'm an idiot. Playing as any other character, how would you like playing as any other character? How would you get out of? Because as we all know, Pikachu is notorious for fair combos and up air combo. Like you can't get out. You're kind of stuck. So playing as another character, how would you like getting out of combos? How would you recommend getting around those, or how would you recommend getting out?
Hope that they mess up. Literally, like when people are like, how do you get out of this Pikachu combo? And I'm like, well, these things make it a little more difficult, but like if I see it, I can hit you for it. So like, I don't know. Hope that I fuck up.
That's about it. They can only hope.
Basically.
Man, that was a lot more anticlimactic than I thought I was gonna be. All right. Well, that concludes the interview. So thank you so much for coming in. This will be linked eventually and put into the database whenever we are finished editing it and releasing it. Please repost, and yeah, we're good to end.